Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. That was like the longest.
Something about that slow countdown in silence.
Yeah, I was just like,
now the whole show is ruined. Start the show.
Scrap.
Okay, from the top. Good news, everyone. Good news. Still Scrolling is back at it again. Welcome to the show. It's me, one of your hosts, Justin.
And me, Derek, the other host.
I feel like we're off our game. We gotta tighten up.
We're goofy today, man.
No,
it's a goofy day.
We can't be goofy. We have to be cool. We have to be calm. We have to
goofy movie over here.
Oh gosh, here we go. Okay.
Oh boy, should I leave? You want me to leave? I'll get out of here.
No. We have to button up.
It's fine, guys. If we just listen to each other's hearts.
Get out.
Shit, I forgot the rest of the lyrics. I was
It's
trying to
fine.
make a joke.
It's fine. The joke was made.
You got it. You got it. All right.
Unfortunately, Stefania got swapped.
She fell in love.
No. Oh, okay. Stefania fell in love with an alien.
With a bell.
We are on two different wavelengths.
Yeah. She went to the weekend concert. And she's hopelessly in love with the weekend.
Got it.
Got you. So I hope she's okay. I hope she's writing the next album with the weekend. Hope that all works out with her. Oh my gosh, what if Stefania shows up randomly in the weekend's new passion project that no one cares about? Like, oh my gosh, that'd be so
Which
fun.
one?
Anyways, we had so much to talk about. We couldn't do it alone, so we had a guest fill in. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you the unbelievable, the amazing, the bionic, the incredible, the super powered Taylor Hancock. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for throwing bionic in there because I feel like not enough people know that about me, and it's I'm trying to get it out there to the public.
Look, as the more guests we have, the more adjectives I'm adding on to everyone's intros. So congratulations. So
I'm honored to be here.
For the people that don't know who you are, what's your spiel and where can they find you?
Sure. I'm sort of a movie historian, big fan of comics and film. So I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all the socials doing historical videos, keeping up to date with kind of what you guys do. Derek and I are sort of in the same vein in the content that we make. And I'm THR2D2 on all those platforms.
Ooh, clever.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there. Stefania will be missed. To honor her memory, here it is. Her most iconic moment. Stefania, you will be missed. Anyways, back to the show.
What the fuck, man? I forgot about that.
Do you never? I remember it vividly.
I forgot about it because she was telling me to do it. I was the one she was telling to pee on the stream. So I repressed that.
Yeah,
that memory.
Happen. Anyways, speaking. I'm sorry. What a way. We are way too goofy. But speaking of goofy things, did you guys see the world's goofiest parade that happened? Trump's birthday. How did you guys celebrate Trump's birthday this weekend?
I wasn't even aware it was his birthday. How about that? It was National Barack Obama Day. It was No King's Day. Yeah, I live in LA, so I was down at the protests, trying to make sure that he didn't get any extra attention that day. Personally.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was busy actually blocking accounts on TikTok.
Oh no.
TikTok has become this really weird place where, like, I think it's my algorithm. And sometimes the discourse, it's a video being stitched of a MAGA person or whatever. So like I'll keep watching, and then I realize, nope, it's just the MAGA person talking, and it's their complete video. So I was busy like filtering out my timeline, my feed, because something's up.
Okay. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Trump's birthday was this weekend, and thank goodness, because the No Kings protest, I think it did its job by blocking out the news of Trump's birthday. So as
Seems
everyone
like it.
was doing the protest thing, you had a bunch of people not attending Trump's birthday party, and a viral video has gone out where you see a tank just squeaking by, and no one's cheering, there's no music, it's just the tank itself just squeaking by. I have a question for the both of you guys. Is this a good way to protest? And what I mean by that is, like, how are we gauging the success of these protests? Are we gauging it by social media coverage? Are we gauging it by changing people's mind? What do you guys think? Specifically, I want to hear from someone from LA. THR, what do you think?
Sure. It's one of those things where it's like, how do you mobilize people in a way that's like productive? And I think some people see those protests and they're like, well, it's just making a sign and going out and whatever. It's not real change. But I think the fact that I think the estimate was like 11 million people across the country to go out and do something all at the same time, I think that's a pretty big deal. So I don't know if it's changing minds, changing hearts, but it's definitely putting it in front of people.
Derek, what do you think? Do you think this protest was successful, and how are we gauging this success?
So I think the protests, I think, were absolutely successful, and I think we see that through some of the discussion that the other side is having, because they're out here sharing videos of a protest, and down here in Miami there was people protesting, but nowhere near as large as California or New York, Philadelphia. So the comment sections are all just oh, look, all 200 people. And it's you're ignoring the fact that this county turned red in the last election. The fact that there's still people actually out there protesting is a big deal. There's other comments where they're just saying things like, well, actually, we don't have a king in America.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those.
There wouldn't be able to be protesting if we did have a king. So these protests are so dumb. It's so whatever. And it's whenever they rely on semantics like that or kind of silly details, I think that was a very successful protest, right? Because deep down they know. They may not admit it to themselves. They may not even be consciously aware of it because they've been so programmed into, wearing that red hat that they'll never admit it, and they might not even realize it consciously, but they know it's right. They know it was the right thing to do. The other side of it too, to Taylor's point, right? Just the simple act of it happening, I think, is already a success, because the reason this man is back in office, the reason everything's a shit show right now, is voter apathy, right? That's always been the left's, biggest enemy, so to speak, where it's and you see it in the voting turnout in the past 20, 30 years, where they elect a Democratic president, voter turnout in the next election cycle declines on the Democratic side. So if there's one thing that the Republicans are really great at, is just getting people to vote, because they'll just blindly go vote for that person because they've got the little R next to the name. The Dems, that tent is so much bigger, the diversity is so much more expansive that people disagree and they just choose to not vote. So the fact that everybody came together and they said, hey, I voted for Bernie, or I voted for Jill Stein, or I voted for Kamala. It doesn't matter right now. We all agree on this one thing, and we're going to unite and protest. And I actually even saw some MAGA people out there because their mom is a Democrat. So he went out and he went to counter protest, but he was his mom's ride, and he wanted to just make sure that his mom was doing okay. So it was very interesting. It's a very interesting protest that we could probably have a whole episode on. But long story short here, I think it was successful. Justin, I think this is probably a rare moment where you agree with me.
What?
Right? Because you always disagree with me. So what did you think about the protest?
Okay, I think it did its job. Here's the thing. I think it did what it's supposed to do. I love it. I love protesting. Here's when here is my pause on the entire situation, right? My pause on the whole thing, right? Is that one, I don't want to get lured into a false sense of security, because I don't know if you guys remember 1 year ago when we thought, it wasn't exactly 1 year ago, when we thought, you know what? There's no way he's coming back. There's no way. And then we looked at the turnout. We looked at we're like, wait a minute. Either people lied. I don't know if you guys had this experience where it's like, either I'm living in an echo chamber social media bubble, or people just lied to my face about who they were supporting. You know what I mean? So I
definitely started to feel that well, everyone told me that they were on this side of things, but the numbers aren't reflecting that. So I'm wondering if it's, I wonder if some Trump voters have this shame about it, where they're like, I do what I need to do in that voting booth, but outside of that, I'm going to keep it to myself.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm scared about. I just don't want to, what's it called? Put my horse. Isn't there horses?
Put the cart before the horse.
Yes, exactly. So I hope we keep this energy for the next couple of years. Keep it
for
constant.
The next 3.5 years.
Oh, he's doing so much so quickly.
It has felt so long.
Oh God.
And it has not been.
Which is insane to think about. But speaking of insane things to think about and reactions, are you guys Sabrina Carpenter fans?
Of course.
Yes, Jesus was a carpenter. You guys, I don't know if you guys knew that, but that was a good joke.
So good. That was so good.
It was great, actually.
But anyways, I thought it would be a great time to bring up in this panel full of men. Have you guys been following the Sabrina Carpenter discourse on her new album art?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yes.
It just feels like nobody can. It feels like, specifically with women, it's like you just can't win. You're either showing too much, you're not showing enough, you're too big, you're too small. It's just like there's always a national conversation, and it's like, well, I don't know if you want to set up exactly what the discourse has been about, but I just find it kind of disappointing, especially when she's built her reputation on being, I would say, sexually positive.
True. So, guys, if you haven't heard, Sabrina Carpenter is coming out with a new album, Man's Best Friend, and the world got into a tizzy over her album art, which depicts the Sabrina Carpenter on all fours with a man holding her hair, I guess insinuating that some sexual act is going to happen while she's on her knees. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you're too young to be listening to this show.
Wait, what do you mean?
That is not how I interpreted it at all.
What did you say? Sexual? What is that word?
Listen, Linda. Listen, honey. Listen. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm confused because why are we acting like Sabrina Carpenter wasn't talking about sucking dick her entire tour? Why are we acting like we all didn't celebrate the Juno poses?
Every new one went viral.
Are we blind? Yep. Did we not celebrate this? I'm so confused. And mind you, here's a hot take. I don't even think Sabrina Carpenter is that sexual, to be honest with you. It's all implied. You don't see anything. You don't see any members. You know what I mean? Like, everything for the most part is covered, right? I don't even think she's that risque. And if you guys are having not you specifically, but if the internet is having a discourse about this, y'all wouldn't survive Britney Spears at her prime. Or
Madonna.
Y'all would have a hernia. Like, insane. So, Derek, what do you think about this album art? And are you in a tizzy?
No, I'm so tired from just existing on this planet. I don't have time to be tired about Sabrina Carpenter's
Is this a
fucking
cry
album
for help?
cover.
I'm so confused.
No,
so
it's
tired.
not. I'm totally fine. No, I think it's just like, guys, context matters. Nuance is important. Pay attention. the song that she released already is Man-Child. It's about an idiot. It's clearly, and I could be wrong about this, right? It could be that it's probably that she is going in that direction of like man's best friend, aka like what men want women to be, but I refuse to be, right? It's and I don't know, people are just kind of ignoring that for the sake of like, oh, look at the one picture she took for the album cover. It's weird, and I'm kind of over it. And I do get it, because I'm not fully on the side of like, well, as long as she has her own agency and she consented to it, it's fine. That's feminism. I'm not fully in that camp either.
What?
I do think that, like,
Derek, what do you mean? Explain yourself. Pause.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no. Are you secretly conservative? Oh, no.
Where were you on Saturday?
Yeah, what were you doing on Saturday, Derek?
Nothing. Don't look back here. And it's like a MAGA hat. No, I don't. I think that sometimes, so like, for example, the Sydney Sweeney, as a kind of, I guess, comparable example, right? Like, she was playing a high school, not just the soap, but her whole career, right? It's just been like objectifying her as like this object, to the point where like her breakout role, she was a 16-year-old girl getting like sexually assaulted, for lack of a better word, by like a football player in high school. You know what I mean? And
Wait
again,
a minute. Okay, pause.
She consented.
Pause.
Hold on. Again, she consented to that, right? And she has her own agency. Like, I don't see anything inherently wrong with her taking that role. What I take issue with is, why the fuck is Euphoria a show? You know what I mean? Because it's that show is just so like, ugh. So that's kind of what I mean by like the larger context, the larger kind of picture of things. Sure. I don't have an issue with Sabrina Carpenter doing this, but understanding that the internet is so stupid, you know, it leads to these conversations that are just like, are they really helping or not? And then kind of just wrap things up here, right? That's not her fault either. So, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, she's not that risque. She's not doing anything super crazy. Like, it is kind of overblown. So it's such a complex type of thing where ultimately I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
Interesting.
That's my 2 cents on it.
I get it.
Now go ahead. Go off on me, Justin. I know you were waiting. Go.
Listen. Lock him up. Lock him up. Okay. Here's where I disagree. Number one, I think we have to stop acting like Euphoria was made for kids. I think that rated R things can be rated R. I think that HBO is for adults. And if you're watching it and you're not an adult, it's not made for you, right? You know what I mean? It's clearly an adult show. And here's what's getting me. Yes, the people depicted are young people, right? And I don't think if you watch Euphoria that it is endorsing the things that these quote unquote children, who all the actors are well above the age of 18 and 21, right? You know, all the actors are adults, right? You know what I mean? It's all from the song choices, right? From what's happening inside the episodes. It's clearly not it's clearly not, I guess, quote unquote Gen Z's age, right? You know, there's a party scene in the beginning of season 2 where they're playing music from, I guess, Derek's time when he was a kid, you know, and
1840.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, phones aren't that big of an issue. Like, in this show, in this world of Euphoria, it's not, I wouldn't say they're even current, like, you know what I mean, 2022 or whatever, kids, right? You know?
Can I throw in my issue with Euphoria briefly?
Interesting. Okay.
Because I've always had an issue with the show, and I've bounced back and forth on like, well, is it the age that they chose to set these kids? I think it comes from a writing perspective from me, where I'm just like, what is the what's the interest, what's the driving force to write those scenarios about kids? Like, even if you're not going to cast kids and even if you're not going to market it to kids, why is so much of the show about kids in those situations? And then like I'll zoom out and I'll go, okay, Big Mouth, right? It's a show about young kids and it's sexual and it's perverse, but the goal is more of an education, you know, or a relatability standpoint where it's
actual
like
commentary.
Right. Whereas I feel like Euphoria, or like when people talk about some of the rape or sexual assault in Game of Thrones, it's like, well, at a certain point, if you're writing that into every other episode, I start to wonder what the purpose of it is other than shock value.
Yeah.
That is a good
So
point.
I think
that is a good point.
Euphoria kind of flip-flops for me on that line.
Season 1, I liked. I really liked it. Season 2 kind of just lost me. And it's just kind of like, it ruined season 1 for me because I know that it's like, this isn't going anywhere. This is just going to give me more moments.
Sure.
You know, it's not aiming to like wrap things up and tell a story here. It's very much just like, yeah, Zendaya was dead all along and her ghost is telling the story. Like you get what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's going to be like a tragic ending or whatever. Like, just get there. Stop shocking me along the way.
Here's the thing.
You know?
Here's where I disagree. I think
I told you.
No.
You disagree.
No. Here's the thing. Stories and storytellers have no obligation to match your morality.
Correct.
Sure.
And they also do not. Education should not be a requirement of every single story. You know what I mean? A story or a movie or a television show or a book has no obligation to make you feel good at the end, right? I think we can debate whether or not Euphoria is effective on the message that it wanted to send. You know what I mean? But I think Euphoria has to be like this educational show or teach the values of like all these things. I think the only thing that it has to do is tell the stories of these characters. And whether I agree that the destination of those characters with Sam Levinson, that's between me and God, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I will say that watching The Idol definitely retroactively made me dislike Euphoria more.
Interesting.
Because then you start to get into the writer's mind and you're like, okay, this is a completely different project and we're still in these these situations. So I totally agree with what you're saying. And I think a lot of young people now have a hard time with wanting their media to line up with their morality.
True.
But yeah, sometimes I can't get the writer or the director out of my head, you know, and I'm just like, but what? Why are you doing that?
Is it like the Tarantino feet thing where you're like, you really didn't have to do that? That seemed a little
Who's
extra.
this for? Yeah.
Which is a whole nother podcast. But speaking of whole nother things, Derek, what made you stop scrolling this week?
The greatest, we were talking about writing, the greatest songwriter of all time, Will Smith, actually has a new song out. He made new music.
Does it slap? I'm sorry.
It slaps you from, in my opinion, how cringy it is.
Interesting.
And I think maybe it's because my age is showing, and I remember like getting jiggy with it. Welcome to Miami, like Men in Black. I remember that. To me, that's peak Will Smith.
Interesting.
Right? Like
Big Willie Weekend.
King Richard. Sure, whatever. I guess that's fine. I Am Legend, sure, whatever. But to me, it's 90s Will Smith that is peak Will Smith. And then you see him now, and he released a new song. It's called Pretty Girls. And the song is basically just like Jay-Z's Girls, 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 but with a Will Smith kind of twist on it. Very, very, very much more sanitized and more just kind of a dancey bop. And it does get a little bit catchy, right? Because that's just the nature of music, right? You hear a little beat, a little rhythm, and it does kind of earworm into your brain a little bit, but it feels very much like, just stop doing these things that you think are going to go viral. That's what it feels like to me.
Interesting.
It feels like he's doing it to try and have a TikTok hit for the summer, as opposed to like why he probably used to make music, which was to make music and to be a hip hop artist. What do you guys think? Have you heard the song?
Have you watched the music video?
Have you watched the music video is my second question. Yeah, that's the other thing is then he has a music video where I think that the point of like, let's go viral, let's go be the TikTok hit of the summer. I think that kind of proves my point there where it's like, what is this music video? It's just him dancing and being goofy with a bunch of girls in like a white room.
Yeah, it's
And it's
also like
just,
it's very early 2000s. It's very like there's a lyric in the song where he's like, I like every girl, no matter what shade. And then it's like a white girl, a black girl, a Hispanic girl. And it's just like, Will, what are you doing, buddy? Like, why are
yeah,
we doing this?
yeah. What do you think, Justin? We talked about women
Song of the summer.
and there's no women here, but there is a black guy here. So what do you think about this?
Here's the thing. I love Will.
Me too.
He is probably one of the last great movie stars of our time, right?
Yeah.
I have multiple thoughts.
Fair.
Thought number one, we have to stop acting like Will Smith was the best rapper in the first place.
No.
We have
At
to
all.
stop acting like he was good at rapping. Because
What do you mean? The way he told his story about how his parents didn't understand him?
listen,
Come on.
I'm not okay.
That's poetry.
I think we could separate him being a good rapper, which he is not, between him and like Will Smith is good at selling himself. And I think that's the magic of Will Smith, right? In the entire enterprise, I don't care about Will Smith's music career. I care about him on movies, right? And so like I think his best music days are behind him. If he ever had good music days. But he was successful. It made money. So I'm not going to be like, he's a terrible at this.
He's a pop artist.
Yeah.
He's a pop artist.
When it works great, right? But here's the thing. I think we have to let Will Smith be cringy. I think we let him be cringy. How old is Will Smith? Actually, hold on. How old is Will Smith?
Like 50 something.
50.
I was gonna say he's in his 50s now.
Maybe 60 actually.
He is 56 years old.
Damn. And he looks great.
And
You know what? I take everything back.
What do you
I take it all back. You're right. Let him live. Let the man live.
Let
He deserves
him
it.
cook.
He deserved
him
it.
be cringy. I love you, Will. I think he's just Unk now. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's okay that Unk is wearing those mandals at the barbecue. It's okay. He doesn't have to have the coolest outfit on. He's just Unk now. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of celebrities that have reached that status where, like, you don't have to keep up with us anymore. You're on the shelf. You are enshrined in the history of Hollywood. Like, nothing you do, even slap another celebrity, is gonna get you off that shelf. But you're just Unk now, and that's okay. Just let him be Unk. Does that make any sense, Taylor? What do you think?
No, I kind of agree, and I think there's a bit of charm to it because if you think about it, he's been kind of cringe for a bit now. Like even going back to like remember YouTube Rewind and like that whole thing, and when he showed up,
We need to bring that
Like-
back. Remember the glory days?
killed the
No.
dislike button.
Oh man,
But-
wild.
But yeah, I think let him be cringe. I just wonder why we can't have cringe Will Smith on the side and still have him in good movies. Like I miss
Really?
like
You don't
again,
think-
King Richard was good, but I mean like a Will Smith movie. I feel like I haven't seen a true like Will Smith movie in a while
Really? Okay.
where he's the leading man and it's sold on his charm, not necessarily his dramatic acting skills because he's an amazing dramatic actor.
Uh-huh.
But like I miss those movies where he is just steering the ship with his charm.
So it's not like Bad Boys for Life. You don't think that was?
To me, that more lives in the vein of like this used to work, so let's keep doing it until it stops working.
Interesting, because
I want to see like
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say like I want to see something that like I loved Wild Wild West. I love those wacky movies where it's just like if anyone else were in the lead role, I would not be enjoying this at all. But
Interesting.
because it's him, you're just like I'm in. Take me on this ride. You know what movie I really liked with him recently was it was the animated movie, but Spies in Disguise. Oh, it was great. The pigeon movie.
Stop.
Give me more pigeons.
Hell no, absolutely not. No. Okay, so you were out on Gemini Man.
Way out on Gemini.
Oh my
Man.
gosh, I started Gemini Man. I have a whole story. It's the first time it's between me and Will Smith and Gemini Man. This has nothing to do with Will Smith. This is a side. Anyways, so I took my dad and my mom and the whole family to go see Gemini Man for, I think it was either Father's Day or his birthday or something like that. But like, Will Smith is one of those actors that like, the whole fam's gonna like, right? It was in the special 3D whatchamacallit lens. I don't know if you guys remember, it was a big deal because they increased the frame rate of Gemini Man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And so we went to my local movie theater, right? We put on our glasses, right? The movie's starting up, and then, oh, I know, right? It's getting juicy.
My dog is like, yes.
And then the movie stops playing, and we're like, okay, what's going on? And then we're waiting for like 10 minutes. We go back and like, hey, can you turn the thing back on? And like, oh, we're sorry. And they start up the movie again, right? And then it stops again. And then we're in the darkness for like 20 minutes. We're waiting for the movie starts. People are talking to the people, right? And apparently our local movie theater at the time couldn't handle the high frame rate of Gemini Man, right? And so I'm like, okay, can I get my money back? Because we literally did not see Gemini Man. And they wouldn't give me my money back. And I was like, what do you mean? They say, here's a little slip to go see Gemini Man again. And I was like, no, because I know that your theater can't handle this movie. I want just refund my card. And they wouldn't do it. And it's the only time I've ever yelled at an employee. Ever in my life. I was like, literally, I do not want to come here again. Just give me my money back. And they said, well, we can't give you your money back because like the movie had started. And I was like, we didn't see the movie. What do you mean? Like
something similar happened to me with the live action remake of Aladdin.
It's Will Smith.
The projector turns off. I'm telling you, there's some Will Smith magic. It's in his contract that if the projector goes out, he just gets to keep your money.
What the heck? Oh my gosh. I was so angry. Ruined the plans. And to this day, out of anger, I've never picked up and rewatched Gemini Man. Never.
Good, because it's terrible.
Is it really that bad? Dang, okay.
It's so bad.
We gotta do a rehab of Will Smith's career at one point. A whole episode. How do we rehab?
Just do everything, yeah.
Derek, what do you think?
I'm just now realizing when I saw The Dark Knight Rises.
Is he in that too?
Will Smith. He's not, but I saw it down here. I saw it down here, and it was the local theater called Palace 18. Right? It wasn't AMC. It wasn't Regal, any of the main brands. It was just like Palace 18 or whatever, and it was the absolute shittiest theater possible in Southwest Miami-Dade County. The speakers, the sound was off, the screen was like not as vibrant, right? And the seats, I think they had reserved seatings back then still, like they weren't that far behind on the movie going experience, but the seats were not good. They were still like the regular, like just like stadium seats that fold down and that's it. We watched the entire movie and nobody said anything, nobody complained, and I can't for the life of me understand why, because it's not like the good theaters didn't exist. We had been to good theaters. We just, for some reason, decided, let's go to Palace 18. And we hadn't been there in years. And that was the experience we got. And, like, the speakers, like that Dark Knight Rises theme, like, you hear it in the sound where it's like that low-fidelity speaker system. And I can't think why. The biggest feedback we had for that was, like, oh, yeah, that's Robin. Oh, that's not Robin. And then we got into an argument as to whether Joseph Gordon-Levitt was Robin or not. We didn't question that at all. That wouldn't fly nowadays at all.
No, what I think about a lot too is like I live in LA, and so like I have access to IMAX screens and 4DX screens and all these great screenings. And if you live in a major city, you're always nearby some state-of-the-art film presentation. But a lot of the country are watching movies in theaters that have not been updated in decades. And
that is true.
When they come out of a movie and they maybe didn't have the same experience that we all had, we're like, no, it was fine. It was a good time. because at the very least we had good sound quality, we had good picture quality, and it's like, imagine if you go see the live action Snow White or whatever, and it's already not something you're going to enjoy, but then the quality is also terrible. Like, you're going to hate it a lot more than somebody like me.
Dang.
Yeah. It's radicalizing people, these shitty theater experiences.
That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump for his third term.
Yeah, it's the, what is it?
Lock him up. Lock him up. Anyway.
Make movie theaters great again.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Oh! Now, put that on a hat. If we ever get our hats, that's a whole nother podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Anyways, speaking of putting on hats, Taylor, what did you... Wait, no, what did you... I misspoke. What made you stop scrolling this week?
Yeah, so Superman, ever since that last trailer, I feel like it's really kicked into high gear. Pre-sales they passed Fantastic Four, their highest pre-sales of the year, so people are talking about it. And obviously, whenever you talk about Superman, the Snyder guys come out of their caves to remind us that Henry Cavill once played Superman. And I guess there was a Redditor that posted this whole call to arms for Snyder fans to boycott this movie. And they essentially used the phrasing, if we can't have Superman, no one can. Which is the least Superman thing you could say. And James Gunn directly responded to it. People were tagging him in it, and he basically came out and was like, look, I don't think this guy and his 6 friends are going to affect our movie, which is the best burn I've read from a director in so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like Superman, it's like Star Wars. Superman, Star Wars, they should be above this. Like, if you're a fan of Superman, I can't imagine a world in which you're upset that we're getting more Superman. Yeah. And James Gunn specifically, like, he engages more with fans on social media than most directors and executives do. And at times, I think he actually engages a little too much. He'll push back against people with like no followers. And it's like, dude, you're, the head of DC Studios. You don't need to be stooping that low. But for things like this, like, I think it's important for the director to come out and go, if you want this movie to fail, then you're not the person I made this movie for.
Ooh.
And I don't want to go down that whole Snyder road, but he's done some real damage to that character and the fan base, I think.
True.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's up there with like sports, politics, religion, Snyderverse. It's one of those things where it's like it does something to people's brain chemistry. And I don't mean this as an insult to them, right? It's just they lose like all rationale and ability to like just kind of chill the fuck out, right? And I don't even mean like in comparison with like, would you rather have James Gunn or Snyder? I just mean in general, like they're viewing this thing as if it was the DC, the creation of DC, as if it didn't exist before Zack Snyder, as if there isn't going to be forever since the Snyderverse that's going to exist in the comics and the movies and the shows. So I don't get it. And I will say it's also a little bit kind of bipartisan. I've seen, of course, a lot of conservatives on the Snyderverse like wave, but I've seen liberals, I've seen progressives kind of like appreciate Zack Snyder a little bit too much, in my opinion, where it's just kind of like, I'm fine if you like him. I'm fine if you enjoy his movies, if you thought his visuals were good, if you, I guess, liked his writing for some reason. Like, I get if you liked it, that's okay. But you're like taking a little bit too far when you start like joining in on the like, look at this new Superman, how trash he is, and this, that, and the other. Like, it's,
and also like,
it's weird.
I think there's a difference between not liking something. Like, there have been plenty of franchises where a new edition comes out and I'm like, all right, it doesn't look like they're going the way that I want them to go with it. But there's a difference between not appreciating it and like, look, this stuff is public. Like, there were death threats sent to Warner Brothers executives from Snyder fans. I worked at Warner Brothers during a lot of that, and I was on the back lot, and there was somebody who was paying to have a plane fly overhead every single day with a banner that said restore the Snyderverse. And it's just like, at a certain point, you're not living in the same reality that we're living in, because those movies weren't successful. They would make more if they were hits. Like
wait, every day?
Every single day for, I was working there for a couple of years on the back lot, and there was a plane that would fly by with a banner that said, David Zaslav, restore the Snyderverse. Welcome Zaslav, you can fix this. Henry Cavill is our Superman. Someone was paying real money every day to have that done. And it's just like, at a certain point, you have to accept Warner Brothers as a business. If they were making tons of money on the Snyderverse, then that would be the new MCU. Ooh. But they weren't. Nobody was showing up. And the people who were showing up, for the most part, weren't connecting with it. And I know plenty of normal film fans who like, Man of Steel or like Batman v Superman, and they don't take it to that place. But there's something about that mob mentality about the Snyder stuff that I really don't understand.
I think we have to stop acting like people like the Snyderverse. We have to stop. We have to stop. Pretend. But also, James Gunn, if you're listening, if you're responding to small requests, I have one. I love you, James Gunn. It's great. We love what you're doing so far. I haven't seen a lot, but I didn't like Creature Commandos, but I have one request. Put the phone down. James?
Yeah.
I think you have to put the phone down. And I say that with all the love in my heart. Stop responding. Make them.
Yeah.
And I say that because I don't want to. You are shining a light on this group of people that I don't know if you've as creators, you respond to a comment and just put the Eye of Sauron on that little person with no profile picture, and then you know what I mean? And sometimes people deserve it. Sometimes they don't. And I'm saying James Gunn does not need to respond to every request, every comment. Kevin Feige's not out here on Twitter all day long. Kevin Feige's not on threads saying beating up the people who didn't like, I don't know, Miss Marvel. You know what I mean? I think he's a little too close to the fan base. That's my opinion.
I agree. And I think too, there's part of the mystique of being I agree.
I know.
Thank you. There's this whole thing of the mystique of being a studio executive, right? And so Kevin Feige has almost become a character. And look at She-Hulk, right? They had that AI that was Kevin. Yeah. He's become this. He is Marvel in a way. He's so behind the curtain. He's like the Wizard of Oz. And when you see that man step out from behind the curtain,
but in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, not in the wicked way. But when you see that man step out from behind the curtain and address like Nova here, or address some fan who just really doesn't like Guy Gardner, you're like, well. Okay, maybe have a board meeting about this, or maybe have an internal discussion about the character. Don't put it on Twitter.
Right. I don't think we need to validate everyone's bad opinions on the internet, James, because now it's goading. It's ooh, what's James gonna respond to next? And I think we would all be better off if we just wait for the movie to come out.
Yeah, totally.
I think I don't need to see another trailer. I actually didn't see the last trailer because I'm trying to black out myself.
It's good.
I'm trying so hard. I don't want to see a poster. Same thing with Fantastic Four. I think I'm enjoying movies better if I see the least amount of promotional material. I don't know. Do you guys do the same thing? Maybe it's just a Justin thing.
I think it's usually the final trailer I'll try to skip out on, because I feel like that's where they throw in the cameo or the Easter egg to try and get people who are on the fence. Fantastic Four I'm avoiding now. I feel like they're going to show Galactus soon, and I don't want that.
I think, honestly, from what I've seen, I only saw the first trailer. Is it me, or does Fantastic Four seem weirdly muted? Low energy.
In its color palette?
It just feels like, there's something missing. You know what I mean? Maybe it's...
yeah. I see. You mean vibes, not visually.
No, yes, but yes to both, actually. Muted in a way that's the color palette, you have these bright blue suits, you know what I mean? And then you just have that scene where the Thing is walking on the real street, and it's I don't know, I think it needs to be bright orange a little bit, bright, but
I get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And I also think that we haven't seen enough of their interactions, like their chemistry together.
Right.
Like we've seen little snippets of it, but the whole thing has to work around the family.
Yeah.
And so I think that they haven't shown enough of that.
True.
Yeah, the trailers all kind of are the majority the same footage, just chopped up differently. There's
Same
not a
couple
lot
scenes.
of different footage like the Superman trailers where there is kind of a bigger range of different shots and stuff that we see.
Yeah. So we're excited for Fantastic Four. We'll probably do a special viewers unit on both movies. I got my Prime tickets early, so we shall see that as soon as it drops. I think that is the end of our show. Now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Am I the Asshole? Taylor, are you familiar with this segment?
I am. I do watch the show.
Oh, a fan. Yes. That's the rule.
Well, I didn't say that. I said I watched the show.
If you watch enough times or listen enough times, you too can be a part of our show. But this is the part where we read an Am I the Asshole post, and I get to see if my co-hosts are judgmental. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. Am I the asshole?
Yes, I am an asshole.
Oh, I knew it.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you win.
Am I the asshole for making it clear how I'm not entirely happy at my best friend's wedding during my maid of honor speech?
Ooh. Not off to a great start.
Wait. Yes?
During
You think it's a yes?
I think if you're doing it during the speech, then you're taken away from their moment.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's find out.
Yeah.
On Saturday, my childhood best friend got married. Her husband is very lovely and he takes care of her. They've been together for 7 years and I've known him pretty well through my friendship with my best friend. But after they got serious, things changed. Our friendship changed. And yeah, a lot of you will say this is natural and priorities change, and I agree. And I agree that things cannot always be the same, and how her priority is now her husband and the family she'll create with him. But still, I feel completely mad about it. I know I should respect her and move on with my life, but I have to also make peace with the fact that this change does not make me feel well. I was her maid of honor, a great honor indeed. The entire time of the ceremony, I was sobbing. Not because I felt touched, but because I mourned our friendship. That day was a day that my hopes of things returning back to what they used to be were gone. And everyone thought it was cute and how touched and happy I was, but I was not. I couldn't say it out loud. I had a maid of honor speech ready, but all of it was just a lie. So I decided to scrap my actual maid of honor speech and speak honestly. I said that I didn't want to lie. I want to be honest. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy that this person she married is the reason our friendship changed. I'm not happy on this day. I just pretended the whole day I pretended the whole day for her sake. But it would be a shame of me to get up there and lie about how happy and excited I am. I said I'm not happy, but regardless, I have to suck it up and congratulate the happy couple. There was an awkward silence for 2 to 3 minutes after my speech. My BFF was whispering something to her new husband. The entire night, my BFF ignored me. I had to speak to her, and she angrily told me how it's not the right time, and many guests gave me judgy looks. It's been 2 days, and my BFF hadn't texted or called me and also ignored my text and calls. During that time, many of our common friends said that what I did was very selfish and that masking selfishness as honesty is not an excuse to make things awkward on the wedding. My BFF contacted me 2 days after and only asked me if my purpose was to ruin the mood of her wedding. I said no. The purpose was to be honest. She said I'm trying to play the victim and how she can't believe I can't even show a bit of remorse about what I said. I said I can't apologize for being honest, and she said that many people believe that I'm the asshole, including her, and her husband now feels uncomfortable about me. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
This is the easiest one.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
That to
Done deal.
me screams, I'm in love with my best friend. That's what I get from that.
Oh, interesting.
I'm in love with my best friend.
Yeah.
I haven't
Who wrote
processed
this?
that yet.
Who wrote this? Was this Rick Grimes in that movie, the Christmas movie?
Oh my gosh. What's it called? Not The Proposal. Love Actually.
Yeah.
There it is. Love
Love
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the asshole. It's just a maid of honor speech. Oh my gosh. You are not the main
she
character.
needs therapy. She needs therapy.
Yeah. Okay.
She needs therapy, but she's also an asshole. They're not mutually exclusive things. Like you could.
I find that most assholes
asshole.
do need therapy, yeah.
Or they go to therapy, and then that's the reason that they're good at being an asshole.
Right. They've perfected it. I find that lately you see that a lot, that people are like, well, I'm not being rude. I'm practicing radical honesty. And it's like, well, you're practicing radical honesty and you're being rude. So.
Yeah, you're being both.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just I don't understand you thinking that this was gonna go well. In what world do you think that people are gonna be happy about this? You know, in what world do you think that this is a good idea, Poster? I'm confused. Yes, you're the
main
asshole
character
all
energy.
Around. Very easy.
We did it, guys. We found a unanimous asshole on this one.
Yay, we found the asshole.
Interesting. Okay, maybe this one's a little harder. Okay. Am I the asshole for requesting to remove my thesis partner from our research, which may cause her not to graduate?
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
group,
a tricky
group
one.
assignments, they're hard.
You have to make a judgment.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Derek?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. We'll see. All right. So I, male, am in college, of course, with only 8 people. Wait. I, male, am in a college course with only 8 people. So we're all pretty close. For our thesis, we were assigned to work in pairs, and I got partnered with a woman I've already worked with several school projects before. She tends to do things last minute, but she usually does them, so I wasn't thrilled, but I figured we manage. That changed quickly. We both work night shifts, but she also has a kid. I get that, and I've really tried to be understanding, but I still managed to interview her 3 times over 3 months while she was constantly unavailable. When it came to transcribe the interviews, each an hour long, we split the work, but she didn't do any of hers. I ended up doing all of it just to keep us from failing behind. Then came encoding, which is the most tedious and time-consuming part of our paper. We split the work again, and for almost a month, I kept bugging her and messaging her to finish her part, and she never did. I eventually gave up and just did the whole thing myself. I told our advisor, and they made her pay for the subscription to the software we were using as compensation, but that was the only thing she contributed. Still trying to be fair, I asked her to handle our thesis defense, presentation, and script instead, but on the day of the defense, the presentation was unfinished, and I had to fix it myself right there in the room. She arrived 1.5 hours late, and the script she gave only covered 20 pages for the 45-plus slide deck. After the defense, we were told to redo the encoding and rewrite the chapters 3 and 4 separately so we could compare and combine. I started mine right away. She still hasn't done anything, and I've been consistently messaging her to ask for updates, to follow up on her part of the encoding. Her write-up and I just got, yeah, I'll do it, but still nothing. And I constantly see her active on Facebook and posting stories. Finally, I asked our advisor if I could submit the thesis under my name only, which would mean she won't graduate. Now people are telling me I'm being too harsh and should just carry her one last time. But I honestly feel that I've carried her through the entire thing already. Am I the asshole for doing this, even if it might cost her graduation?
I feel comfortable sticking with my no. I think you are never responsible for whether or not someone else graduates, you know? So you're not an asshole because it was never in your hands. It was always in her hands.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Jared?
I'll switch from yes to no, but I will say that there are times, and I've experienced this several times in the past, where there are people who think they are killing it. They think they are like the best in the world. One always sticks with me. It was this one dude that took a couple weeks off from work. When he got back, he walked in the door and he immediately was like, "Oh, I'm gone for 2 weeks and everything goes to shit here." Little did he know he was the one person everybody else talked shit about because of how bad he was.
Ooh.
So I think maybe the original poster on this post might be that person. I don't know.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That might be the case here. But based off of what is in the post and assuming everything checks out, then no, I don't think that person is an asshole. Especially when you consider the fact that, like, why are these thesis things in group settings in the first place?
That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
why
that's
very
bizarre.
weird.
Why would it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it should be one person, but also like, it's a lot of work. Anyways,
True.
I mean, yeah, who knows?
Maybe we can
Worst case,
come up with a quick restructure of the education system. The three of us can figure it out, right?
Let's do it.
I think so.
I've got like 20 minutes. We could do it, right?
sure,
Alphabet,
sure.
colors, math. We're done.
Yeah.
That's all you need. I'm gonna say not the asshole. You already did the project.
Yeah, you did the work.
And you covered your ass by informing your advisor or teacher the whole way that she's not contributing to whatsoever to this, you know? So I feel bad. She has a kid though.
True.
No, but it's not his
Could the kid have
problem.
helped
Oh man, it's
with the thesis? The smart kid?
yeah,
No.
have the kid help.
Do the graphics on the presentation.
Drawn by whatever age the kid is. I have to say not the asshole.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I feel bad because it's gonna cost so much money to redo the whole course. I feel so.
Yeah.
That does suck.
It's not just like you are costing this person thousands of dollars, but they didn't do the work. So you're not the asshole, unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Last one before we leave. Am I the asshole for leaving dinner early after my boyfriend's friend introduced me as the current one?
Boyfriend's friend?
Yeah. After my boyfriend's friend introduced me as the current one.
I'm going to say no.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too. Some dudes just don't know how to fucking act. Like they need to grow up, and if that boundary isn't set early on, she's in for a whole, relationship of shit like that. So I think no on this case.
Yeah.
Okay. So my boyfriend, 31 male, invited me to dinner with his old college group. One of his female friends, 30 female, who I've never met before, came late, looked me up and down and said, "Oh, so you're the current one."
Oh, it was a female. Okay. That changes things.
Oh, her quote was, "Oh, so you're the current one. Cute." I was stunned. No one laughed. No one corrected her. My boyfriend just kind of chuckled awkwardly and changed the subject. I sat there in silence for another 20 minutes before excusing myself and leaving. I took an Uber home. He called me later and said I embarrassed him by making it a thing and that I should have just been chill because she didn't mean anything by it. He wants me to apologize to her for walking out like a child. Am I the asshole for not tolerating that kind of blatant disrespect?
Nope.
Dump your boyfriend.
Him, sis.
Dump him.
Yep.
Dump him.
Red flag. Dump that boyfriend. You got to apologize to his friend for reacting to a shitty thing? Nah.
Yeah. If anything, it's like a, hey, why don't you guys talk it out, right? Maybe there was a misunderstanding. There clearly was a misunderstanding, whatever. But apologize? Fuck that, bro. Dump that man immediately.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Also, 31. Nobody over 30 is worth your time. Come on.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna need more info because yes, it was rude. But is this the tone of the fan group? Is this like a thing?
True.
Also,
It seems like it. It seems like they're okay with people just casually saying shit like that.
because like
I do think it adds to it too that it is another woman saying that to a woman. It's sort
with
of
the
like
territory thing.
it almost feels like she
Yeah.
walked in and was like, I have to pee here to mark my territory.
Ooh, okay. Yes, I agree. There has to be something like, you ever met like the one blank person of a friend group and you wonder why they're the only one, and then you realize like, oh wait, you've like pushed out people that could relate to you because you were the special one that got in. It's so weird. Interesting. But I'm gonna say not the asshole.
Yeah. No.
But I think we should help her come up with some zingers to zing back.
Oh yeah.
If someone says that, so you're the current one. Here's my suggestion. You say back and the last one.
That's solid.
All right?
Sure.
'Cause
Yeah, sure.
You don't think that's a good
it's a
zinger?
little. Yeah, it's a little cheesy, especially if they're like, yeah, because it's very much like dad level type of joke, Like
What?
All right, Derek, what are you saying in that moment?
I would probably be like, oh, were you the last one? Something like that.
That's good.
Oh!
Because
Okay.
it's like calling out, like, what's your fucking deal here? Like, why do you care?
Yeah.
Interesting. The current one, the last.
I'd probably just cry and run to the bathroom. Cry in the bathroom stall.
Okay.
Go home early. I'm definitely like, I think I'm closer to this woman. I think I would just sit there for 20 minutes, see if anybody acknowledged it, and then be like, fuck this, I'm calling an Uber.
Interesting.
Man.
Okay.
That's a good option too.
I am too petty. So I would stew like the whole time and think of good things to get, like just listening to the conversation so I could zing one back. You have to one up. That's the
You just sit silently the whole dinner, and then at the very end when you're paying the check, you'd be like, and the last one.
Oh!
They're like, what?
It's giving it's giving George Costanza, what is it? The Jerk Store.
Oh no.
The Jerk Store called.
Oh gosh, you can't say that to me because people think I look like George Costanza. Don't say that to me, please. Don't.
What?
I know, right?
That's so
Stop.
mean.
You do. No, you do. Stop. We have to end the show.
It's the glasses.
No. We have to end the show.
It's the glasses.
Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. Where can the people find you?
I'm THR2D2 on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for having me, guys. This has been a blast.
This was so much fun. As always, follow the pod on the socials. That's TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that jazz. And we shall see you next week. And I'm not going to play the Seinfeld song. I know you were thinking it. I'm not doing it.
It's okay. That's okay.
Just
you have to get to work for the Yankees. Are you late for work to go work at the Yankees?
Get out. We're done. We're done. I can't do this anymore. I quit.